Ever since I started playing the games, I have been absolutely obsessed with finding shiny Pokemon. From the Kalos region to Paldea, I have devoted more time to shiny hunting than actually playing the games. But, of all the shinies I've found, I've never actually used any to beat the main story. The idea has always interested me, but I haven't really had a reason to. Until now. Our story starts in Pallet Town, or at least it should, but the starter Pikachu is shiny locked, so no soft resetting for me, yahoo! Of course, the biggest priority in one of these runs is deciding what to shiny hunt first, and I figured since I can't get the starter Pikachu, I would compensate by going for one in Viridian Forest. Now, for those of you that don't know how shiny hunting works in this game, allow me to explain. The goal is supposed to be getting your catch combo to a chain of 31. This, coupled with a lure, should make every Pokemon that spawns after have a 1 in 315 chance to be shiny. These odds are incredible. However, this is not how this works. Instead of having increased odds for every Pokemon that spawns after you reach 31, only the very next Pokemon that spawns will have these boosted odds. For example, I catch a Pikachu on a 45 combo, another one spawns in. That one is the only one with boosted odds until I catch another Pikachu. Now this begs the question, will I be using this catch combo method throughout the challenge?
No.
Instead, I will be getting my combo up to 31 to increase the spawn rate of my target, and using a lure to make my odds of getting a shiny 1 in 2048. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this hunt started so I can move on with the... Boom, baby. Yes! Shiny Pikachu. That's not its run animation, is it? Oh, please don't run. Please. Oh, yes. Thank goodness. Getting this was incredibly lucky. Not only did I manage to get my target, but I got it in a mere 6 hours of hunting. Not bad. The next step would be prepping Amp for the first gym battle against Brock. This would normally be a problem for most Pikachu, but the Pikachu in this game have access to Double Kick at level 9, allowing us to hit the rock types super effectively. This and Brock's Pokemon not knowing a single ground type move made this gym battle an absolute breeze. And this leads into our next shiny hunt. From here to Cerulean City, I have access to a few places, most notably Mount Moon and Route 3. In the end, I decided to go with Route 3 for the chance at getting something like a Mankey, which wouldn't be weak to Misty's water-type Pokemon. But in life, you don't always get what you want. Sometimes, you get something way, way cooler. Oh my gosh. No way. Of all the things for me to get, that is crazy. There was a thought in the back of my mind that it could happen, but I didn't think it would. Please catch. No. Oh, dang it. Please. Yes! Shiny Charmander, that's so cool. That's such a cool one to get. Not my target, but it's even better. That took absolutely ages, by the way. I've been here for like 10, 11 hours. It's a long hunt, a lot of Pokemon, but we're finally done. What an awesome one to get. A shiny Charmander was definitely not something I was expecting, but I was happy to have it nonetheless. Even though our newly caught Blog is weak to water, I should be able to rely on Amp to carry me through the gym, albeit with a bit of leveling. After a short trek through Mount Moon and dealing with Team Rocket, we find ourselves at the doorstep of the Cerulean City Gym. But before we can fight Misty, we have someone else to deal with. The rival, who proceeded to get absolutely wiped by my one little Pikachu. Now it's time to fight Misty. I had a plan going into this fight, and that was to set up 6 double teams on the Psyduck, heal, and take the Starmie out without getting touched. But let me tell you, this Psyduck did not give a quack about double teams. It just kept hitting me over and over and over. I'm not sure what the odds are of you getting hit at +6 evasiveness, but they cannot be this high. Anyways, after the Psyduck fell, it was on to Starmie, which honestly put up less of a fight than Psyduck did. Not really how it should be, but I'll take the victories where I can get them. Since we're done with that, we can go ahead and shift our focus onto our next shiny hunt. And with Psychic types being one of the best types in Gen 1, I decided to go for Mr. Mime.
and then quickly undecided after it kept running from me and breaking my freaking chain. I hate you, Mr. Mime. I hate you. So with a newly acquired hate for a certain mime that shall not be named, I decided to switch my sights to Drowsy, and I ended up getting this an hour after finishing my first chain.
Not the target, but I'll take it. Shiny Pidgey. That was really fast. That's definitely new fastest hunt. You probably won't run, will you? Dude, stop jumping. Oh, listened. Oh, you son of a... Please catch. No, bad Pidgey. Come on. Oh, are you serious? Okay, that was... Throw the... What? That was not what I did. I swung my remote forward and on the way back it threw it. Okay, we did it. Not even worried for a second. Well, I wanted a psychic type, but I guess that can happen later. Shiny Pidgey.
Yeah, I fully expected to get something like a Pidgey or a Spearow at some point, but this one came at one of the worst possible times, right before the electric type gym. Our team doesn't have many answers for Lieutenant Surge's electric-type Pokemon, so my strategy is going to be simply relying on Amp and a recently evolved Blarg to carry us through the gym. But, before I started the fight, I decided to look in the bag of TMs for any moves that may be able to help me, and found out that Pikachu can learn Dig. Really, you get Dig? That's interesting. It's gonna make this gym battle a whole lot easier for me. With an absolute menace of a Pikachu in hand, I charge headfirst into the Lieutenant Surge fight, and then proceeded to one-shot the Voltorb, two-shot the Magnemite, and two-shot Raichu. Pikachu also learned Thunderbolt at some point in there as well. Now, I have a confession to make. I have been secretly juicing my Pikachu with candies. I know, horrible. I can't believe I did it either. But do not worry, I'm going to make it up to you guys. I will propose a new set of rules on myself. From now on, if a Pokemon dies, it's out of here. It's gone. No more of that Pokemon. And if all of them die, runs over. So basically Nuzlocke rules, but I'm letting myself use items still because you guys will see later. So with the Thunder Badge in hand, I am faced with deciding what our new team member should be. I could really go almost anywhere on the map now that I have access to Cut. Essentially, this whole eastern quadrant of the map is open game for hunting. This leaves me with many options, but in the end, the choice was easy. I could have a busted psychic type that would carry me through the majority of the game. Or maybe a cool fire type that would make this upcoming gym a cakewalk. Maybe even a strong rock type that I have forfeited the opportunity to get in the past. Or I could have Crab. However, the odds of me actually getting Crab are pretty low. On this particular route, when you use a lure, you get about 5 spawns total. Even with a full chain, about 3 of the spawns are taken up by Chansey, Spearow, or Nidoran. While the odds of us getting a shiny Krabby may be low, they are never 0.
Oh my goodness, we got the target. I was so afraid I was gonna get a Chansey. You guys have no idea. Thank you, Krabby. I'm so glad I got you. Oh, what? Please just catch. Yes! Krabby obtained. Timid nature? That's not good, is it? No. Why can't I get a single guy with a good nature? Like, come on.
After coming up with a name for our new Crab and traversing through Rock Tunnel, I find myself at the next major plot point in the story. The Team Rocket hideout, where after a few battles, Huckett becomes the first of my Pokemon to fully evolve. This helps out the team a lot since Kingler is one of the best physical attackers in the entire game, only slightly beaten out by Dragonite. Using our new threat to humanity, we easily take out Jesse and James, as well as this guy who is not important at all. And we finally get to face the leader of Team Rocket himself, Giovanni. In all honesty, this fight is kind of a joke. Persian can't really do any damage to Huckett, and Rhyhorn doesn't even get a chance to exist before the battle comes to a swift and decisive end. Sylph Scope obtained. Now, one would think that doing all that work to get the Sylph Scope would mean that I would be going to the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town to use it, right? Wrong. For some unknown reason, I decided just to go straight for the gym without even checking the levels of Erica's Pokemon. I was confident that Contour and Blarg would be able to carry me through the majority of it. And they did for the most part. All of the gym trainers were nothing compared to them, and before I knew it, I was gearing up to take on the 4th gym leader Erica, with the sound strategy of spamming Ember and Wing Attack until they go out of style. And of course, my plot armor continues as Blarg completely sweeps Erica's team, only coming slightly close to feeling the cold embrace of death. So, with a near-death experience and a rainbow badge under our belt, we can continue our journey by ascending the Pokemon Tower, where, after a few battles, both Blarg and Contour joined Huckett in the Fully Evolved Club. And it was at this point that I had also decided that I will never evolve my Pikachu to hold true to the idea that it was meant to replace the partner Pikachu, which also cannot evolve. With that tangent out of the way, we have made it to the top of the Pokemon Tower where Jesse and James are wanting to fight us again. However, our team is much more formidable now than it was before since Blarg and Contour have fully evolved, so we defeat them incredibly easily, allowing us to get the Pokeflute from the old man, which when used on the Snorlax grants us access to pretty much the entire map. And so with the important decision of deciding where to go for my next shiny hunt now looming over me, I ended up choosing Rock Tunnel. Not only are there a ton of spawns here, I really like a lot of the shinies this cave has to offer. And of these cool shinies, I decided to hunt for Cubone, mainly so I wouldn't have to rely on Pikachu for my ground coverage, but I also really like Cubone shiny. As of right now, I have a 50% success rate in terms of actually finding my target Pokemon. Will I end up being above average or below? Let's find out.
Well, hello there. That was unexpected. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it can definitely help me out. It sucks because I'm gonna have to figure out a way to trade this thing to evolve it. Nice. That was really fast, actually. Only like 2 hours of hunting.
Hey, I may not be above average, but I won't let that get me down. Machop is still a great mon to get, and after coming up with yet another banger nickname, and finally getting a nature that doesn't absolutely suck, I get to move forward with the psych. Machop is way underleveled, so I spend the next few hours grinding EXP so it can be on par with the rest of my team, and during this it also evolved, so congratulations Machoke. And after catching the 50 required Pokemon to make it into Koga's gym, we can finally make some progress. Let's go ahead and take him down, shall we? Earlier on I had taught almost my entire team Dig to prepare for the poison types this gym would have to offer, so I went into this fight extremely confident. And rightfully so. Weezing straight up blew himself up while I was safe underground, and the rest of his team was taken out by a barrage of digs, except for Golbat who fell to Wing Attack. Soul Badge obtained. Now it's shiny time. What to go for? I already have a fairly balanced team, so I think I'm gonna go for a shiny that I really like. My favorite type is the bug type, and I do not have one on the team yet, so I decided to make Venonat the target of this upcoming hunt. I've had some pretty good luck over these last couple hunts, so I'm kind of expecting this one to take a while, so let's just buckle in and...
Don't go over there. Hey, get away from there. Hey. We're not even done with the chain yet. We're at 25. Okay, cool. Oh, well. That was incredibly fast. I'm just setting records over here for my new fastest hunts. Every hunt just keeps getting faster. Like, that was incredibly fast.
Wow, it seems I'm getting pretty lucky. I'm sure this luck definitely is not going to change for the worst in the future. Anyways, that's a problem for future me. Right now, we have a different problem. Or should I say, problems. Firstly, we have to fight our way through Silphco, where we get the Master Ball. And secondly, we have to face one of the toughest gyms in the entire game. Let's focus on Silphco first. The only notable fights are the ones against Blue, this guy, and the final fight against Team Rocket leader, Giovanni. First up is Blue, and he obsoleted with Executor, which I knew going into the fight, so I led with my Charizard, who I may have accidentally overleveled just a little bit, so you can guess how this went. Then he sends out his own less cool Charizard, which gets obliterated by a critical hit Crabhammer from Huckett. Hurdle number 1 conquered. Next, I ascend the floors to go pick up the TM for Flamethrower, which is a huge pickup for Charizard. And a few minutes later, we find ourselves in a double battle. But silly me, I forgot to record almost all of the fight. All you really need to know is that we won because of the combined efforts of Huckett, Blarg, and Amp. Giovanni is next, but not before Flutter fully evolves into Venomoth. Man, what an incredible shiny. I'm sure it'll be useful at some point in the future.
Right.
Hey, Giovanni fight. I once again went into a fight with no strategy at all. But no strategy seems to be the best strategy because Huckit destroyed absolutely everything with relative ease. What an absolute legend. Believe me when I say I didn't skip a beat between Silphco and the first gym, and because of how dangerous Sabrina could be, I made sure to fight each and every gym trainer before taking her on. This got me up to a pretty comfortable level, and I believe that this was good enough to take her on. But man, was I wrong. Things started off with Blarg against Sabrina's Mr. Mime. It was able to set up screens and do a good amount of damage to Blarg, but after a few exchanged hits, he was victorious. With the Mime down, it was Slowbro next, and I opted to switch in Amp, who took it out pretty easily, just not before it was able to get some hits in of its own. Jinx was next, and this is where Blarg would have been really useful, but I didn't want to risk it, so I sent out Huckit instead. And he dealt with the Jinx in one shot. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? This fight's going fine. What was he talking about earlier? This couldn't possibly go wrong. Well, unbeknownst to me, I was about to make a terrible mistake. Instead of keeping Huckit in, I pivoted over to Contour, and after getting hit by a Psychic... Wait, it didn't even do over half, and I'm gonna kill it next turn. As long as I don't get crit, I'll be...
What?
Yep, that was all I had to say. All I can do is chalk it up to bad luck and try to win this fight. This puts me in a really bad spot with only one way out. Flutter and Bruiser would both get outsped in one shot, and Blarg and Amp most likely won't be able to live with over half health if I used a potion. So there was only one option. I had to hope and pray that Huckit would live just one Psychic. What? Turns out the AI is very dumb. Dumb enough to pick a move that couldn't have possibly killed me, so Huckit fires off a dig and takes out the Alakazam to avenge his fallen comrade. He will be missed. And replaced. We may have lost a member, but it wasn't for nothing. We leave here with the Marsh Badge and the excitement of getting to start a new shiny hunt. I wanted to challenge myself for this hunt, so I chose a target that I knew would be difficult to get. Lapras. I decided to start hunting in this little area outside of Seaphone Cave, where Lapras has a 1% chance to spawn with a lure, and once I got my chain going, these odds would get better and better. Once I get the chain up to 31, I would be guaranteed a Lapras spawn every time, so all I had to do was sit and wait for a Lapras to appear. Then I could get started with the hunt.
Bro.
I haven't even found a Lapras yet.
What on earth are my odds? Does not make any sense. How? Oh, how am I so lucky? I don't understand. I've been doing this for 5 minutes. I just surfed over to here. I have no idea what my luck is right now. This is insane. Shiny Tentacool.
5 minutes. That's all it took. I didn't think I could get a shiny faster than Venonat in this video, but I was proven very wrong after getting Blooper. Now, with 2 water types to my name, I can challenge the 7th gym without much worry, because if Huckit starts looking bad, I'll send in Blooper. And after acing all the questions, Huckit shows what it's worth by taking out each of Blaine's Pokemon without getting hit a single time. He really is just hard carrying this run at this point. With us having now obtained the Volcano badge, we can move on to the final shiny hunt of this video. My goal was to go for an electric type Pokemon to replace the Pikachu on my team, because other than Amp, I've got a pretty solid team of strong Pokemon. At this point, you guys have seen how good my luck is, so I was hoping to get the shiny within 4 to 5 hours and be on my way. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Alright, come on Magnemite, show yourself. And it would really suck if I got a Chansey. I would hate that. I probably wouldn't even take it. Alright, I've gotta be getting something pretty soon here, maybe in the next couple of hours. I'm not sure. I'll really take anything besides Chansey. This is kind of taking a long time. I know I'm due for a bad hunt, but like, I was kind of hoping I could just get another one in 5 minutes and then be done, but I gotta work for it, I guess. Been doing this for a while. I'm getting pretty good at dodging everything. Like a ninja. Alright, I've been going for a while today. I think I'm gonna call it quits. Come on, shiny, 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 da. I cannot take listening to this song anymore. Please just, oh, come on, Magnemite. It is actually unbelievable how comically long this is taking. Oh, dude, I keep running into stupid Pokemon. Dude, I can't with this hunt anymore. I am sick and tired of running in and out of this stupid power plant. Just give me the shiny. Dude, I can't freaking do this anymore. Oh my gosh, finally! I didn't want another poison type, but I guess I'll take it. Man, that's the third poison type for the team. Man, oh man, that took a long time. Man, that took ages. Shiny Grimer. Of course the last shiny hunt of the video was gonna be difficult. After all, the game had to make up for all that good luck I was having. Can't be getting too lucky now. It kind of sucked that I didn't get an electric type since my team was now made up of 50% poison types, which isn't very good in terms of type diversity, but beggars can't be choosers, you know? After doing a bit of level up training and required trading, both Wubba and Bruiser evolved, making me feel way more secure going into the 8th and final gym. But before actually going to fight the gym, we pick up something absolutely huge. The Mega Stones. I ran out of recording space for the gym trainer battles, but they mostly went a little something like this. Now my team is ready to fight Giovanni. I actually did my research on this battle and knew that he was going to be leading with Dugtrio, so I counter with Huckett, who, after missing a Crab Hammer and getting crit, took out the Dugtrio and was promptly switched out. Now it was Flutter's time to shine, and he manages to outspeed and hit the Nidoking with a Sleep Powder, allowing me to heal Huckett back up to full. Congrats, Flutter. You did your best. I then sent out Blarg predicting an earthquake and was able to get a clean switch. Then I accidentally Mega Evolved into the wrong Charizard. I swear it's because they swapped the colors on the buttons, it is not my fault. I did end up taking out the Nidoking, but now Charizard is done for the rest of the battle because its health is so low. But never fear, for Huckett is here. And he was able to take out Giovanni's last two Pokemon with ease. And with that, we have officially beaten all of the gym leaders in Kanto, and I can finally say, time for the Elite Four and the champion. I knew I would be going into these fights with a pretty good team, but with Amp being my only backup if one of the main 6 goes down, I wasn't feeling very secure. To be honest, I had zero faith that Amp would be able to do anything at all if it came down to it. And I know I said earlier that Wubba would be my last shiny, but just to be safe, I decided to go for one more. I mean, there's no way I could get as unlucky as I did last time. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness, get here, egg. Uh-oh. Okay, we're chilling. The luck continues. I was thinking maybe it has changed for the worst, but no. And I have a Master Ball, so there's no possible way I could fail this. This is what I wanted too. I don't have a Grass or Psychic type, so this is great. I cannot believe how fast that was. That was like 2 hours. Oh, that was not excellent. Are you kidding me? Got it. Well, that went as good as it possibly could have. Having Treevil as an option now greatly increases my coverage and makes me feel way safer going into the final fights of the game. I end up swapping out Wubba for the time being, and after refining Exeggutor's moveset a little bit, me and my team were finally ready to take on the Pokemon League. First up was Lorelei, and my plan was fairly simple. I intended just to go shot for shot since I had a counter for each of her Pokemon. The only thing that I was kind of afraid of was the Lapras, but I was confident that at least one of the leftover Pokemon would be able to take it down. That was about all I had thought up in terms of strategy, so I jumped straight into the fight. Lorelei leads with her Dugong, and I lead with my chosen counter, which was Bruiser. Things went swimmingly after she tanks a waterfall and unleashes a superpower, one-shotting the Dugong. Jinx is sent out, and really it's obvious what's coming next. Mega Charizard, baby. So as you could imagine, Jinx goes down and Cloyster follows quickly after. Next up was Lapras, and I decided to go into Huckett, who I had recently taught Superpower, which it used to take it out in 2 shots. Last but not least was her Slowbro, which, again, I had the perfect counter for, bringing the first Elite Four battle to a close. Next up was Brawly, and I was not worried about him in the slightest. He leads with Onix, and I send out Treevil, who knocks it out with a single Mega Drain. Next, I Mega Evolved my Charizard into X for some reason, and took out his Hitmonchan. Unfortunately, it paralyzed me with a Thunder Punch before, so it was time for Blarg to switch out. After switching in, I managed to set up a Reflect on the Machamp, setting up Treevil and Huckett to sweep the rest of his team quite easily. 2 down, 2 to go. Agatha was the Elite Four member I was most afraid of. With her 2 speedy Gengar and tanky Weezing, she could pose a real threat to my team. I was mainly going to rely on Blarg and Huckett, seeing as they both had high attack stats and new ground moves, but I wasn't sure if that strategy would be enough. Regardless of how prepared I was, I went into the battle hoping for the best. I start off by going into Mega Charizard X in hopes of taking out as many of her Pokemon as possible with Earthquake. My strategy works against her Arbok as it falls in one shot, but next up was her Gengar, and I decided to stay in. I knew it would outspeed me, so I had to hope that Blarg wouldn't take too much damage or get poisoned. And the Gengar takes down about half of Blarg's HP in a single shot. In the end, he was able to kill it with an Earthquake, but this was the point when I was starting to get very worried. Up next there's our Weezing, and I'm gonna need a chance to heal up Blarg to beat the last Gengar, so the smart thing to do here would be to... What on earth am I thinking? This was an astronomical throw, and I hadn't even realized it yet. Blarg fails to KO the Weezing in one hit, and it fires off a Sludge Bomb that puts me in the red and poisons me. Don't kill me, Poison. Oh! Yeah, talk about a close call. Of course, I switch out Blarg and decide to send in Bruiser, and after getting a very unlucky poison on the switch in, I click Brick Break? Okay, in my defense, I may have forgotten that I taught Bruiser Earthquake. If this voice clip doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Why didn't I just go for Earthquake? I'm incredibly stupid. Dude, this is looking bad, actually. Couldn't have said it better myself, past me. I then decide to switch in Flutter, but Agatha reads the absolute crap out of my soul and sends out Golbat. Knowing that an Air Slash is coming, I don't have anything else to swap into. So now this whole challenge rides on the shoulders of a frail little moth. I have to hope that Flutter lives in Air Slash and hits Sleep Powder so I can get a clean switch. Thank goodness. Looking back on it, I really should have used this opportunity to heal up my team, but instead I prioritized killing the Golbat with Huckit. Weezing comes out next, and I didn't want to risk missing a Crabhammer, so I opted to go for Scald. Thankfully, it managed to kill. Then it was on to Agatha's final Pokemon, Gengar. In my mind, I had two options. Keep Huckit in and hope it doesn't kill me with my low special defense stat, or switch in Blooper, who I knew would be able to at least live a few hits and maybe get a burn off with Scald. In the end, I decided to go with Blooper, because it would really suck to lose Huckit at this point, and I had more than enough potions to heal stall if things started looking bad. With high hopes, I press Scald and see how things play out. Shadow Ball, how much does this do? Please don't do too much. Okay, that's more than I was hoping. Burn. Yes! This was absolutely huge. Now all I had to do was hit one more Scald and heal stall until the Gengar died. But just to be safe, I healed Blooper back up to full in case of a crit. And then, something terrible happened. Something far, far worse than a crit. Something that would cost my team dearly. Her Gengar fires off a Shadow Ball and lowers my special defense. Oh, that sucks actually. Wait. With my special defense lowered, I wouldn't live another Shadow Ball and was forced to spam potions until it dies from its burn or I die to a crit. So, with my fingers crossed, I begin spamming potions and hope for the best. Dude, burn faster. Don't crit me, please. Don't crit me. Okay. Dude, this sucks. Come on. Please. Please, okay. No. Do I even live a Shadow Ball? I guess we're about to find out. What? No. Yep. Blooper is dead. But now is not the time for sorrow. We still got a battle to fight, and things are looking really grim. My last and only hope comes in the shape of a crab. All he has to do is live one move from the Gengar, and this battle will be over. And if he doesn't, this challenge is as good as finished. The Gengar fires off a Sludge Bomb, and Huckit clings on with 28 health points left. He goes under for the dig and finishes off Agatha's Gengar for good, further cementing himself as the absolute GOAT of this challenge. And with that, we have defeated Elite Four member Agatha. Of course, we put Blooper in the box and add Wubba to the team, hoping to not make the same mistake again. After switching Treevil to the front of my team, I charge in and take on the final Elite Four member, Lance. I was not about to lose another Pokemon, so I had a pretty sound strategy this time around. I used Treevil to put the Seadra to sleep and set up a Reflect before taking it out with a Mega Drain. Next up was his Aerodactyl, and I decided to send in my GOAT, who promptly tanks a Hyper Beam and takes it out with a Crabhammer. Now we get into the difficult portion of this fight, and I decided to put this entire run on one Pokemon's back. My strategy was using Acid Armor to raise my physical defense to the max while Reflect was still active, then slowly chip away at his team while I waste turns pressing Hyper Beam, which Wubba can definitely tank. After successfully setting up all 3 Acid Armors, I knew this fight was in the bag. I mean, just look at how little Hyper Beam does. All it takes is a few Thunderbolts from Wubba and the Gyarados goes down. It may be a crawl, but we are definitely winning this battle. Charizard is up next, and it puts up more of a fight than Gyarados as it takes 4 Thunderbolts to kill instead of 3. It also crit a Hyper Beam that Wubba still tanked pretty comfortably. Like, I didn't know Muck was this buff. He's 5 levels under level 2, that's crazy. Last but not least is Lance's Dragonite, and in a mere 2 Ice Punches, Wubba successfully carries us to victory, and the last member of the Elite Four is taken down. Now there is only one person standing between me and sweet, sweet victory. So, with that very successful battle fueling my ego, I go into the fight without a plan yet again. Let's see how this plays out, shall we? Champion Bum, that's his name by the way, leads with his Pidgeot that he will eventually turn Mega. I opted to lead with Huckit simply because I have the most faith in him. I then immediately began to worry when I saw the level gap between his Pokemon and mine. My highest level Pokemon has a lower level than his lowest. This is bad for obvious reasons, but there isn't anything I can do about it now. Of course, Bum Mega evolves his Pidgeot and fires off an Air Slash that really hurts. Huckit retaliates with a Crab Hammer, but it doesn't do nearly enough, and now he needs to be switched out. This already puts me in an awful position. Flutter, Bruiser, and Treevil are all weak to flying, Wubba is only level 49, and I wanted to save Blog for later on in the fight, so I was left with only one option. I had to keep stalling with potions and hope and pray it misses an Air Slash. Or maybe not, because Bum is an absolute fool and switches out his Pidgeot and goes into Vileplume, allowing me to get a free heal and a safe switch into Blarg. The Vileplume sets up Reflect, and now I know what must be done. Mega Charizard Y joins the party and absolutely decimates Vileplume in one shot. Next, Bum sends out his ace Jolteon and I swap in Bruiser. The Jolteon goes for Thunder but misses, and Bruiser takes over half its health with an Earthquake. Bum then swaps out again and goes into Mega Pidgeot, avoiding Bruiser's Earthquake, but this time around we have a Mega Charizard that we can easily swap into to take an Air Slash. And it does exactly that, taking the Air Slash with about 2/3 of its health left. And after getting an unlucky flinch, I fire off a Flamethrower that takes out the Mega Pidgeot. Bum goes back into his Jolteon, and I go back to Bruiser because it worked well enough last time. And after getting hit by a pretty scary Thunder, Bruiser finishes off the Jolteon with an Earthquake. Bum's 4th Pokemon is Slowbro, so I decide to send in Treevil. I try to put it to sleep with Sleep Powder because I knew it was going to use Light Screen, but it missed and it got it up anyways. The next turn, I successfully put it to sleep, and while it was sleeping, I healed Blarg up to full and set up a Reflect. Then I started chipping away at it until Bum used a full restore after it lived on 1, then he switched it out into Rapidash. Luckily, I have the direct counter to physical attacking fire types in the form of Huckit. After taking 3 Flare Blitzes, getting it down to the red, having Bum heal it back up, and then doing 2 Scalds, it finally falls. Slowbro comes out, and with his 2 Pokemon left being his weakest by far, I'm feeling really good. Treevil Mega Drains the already weak Slowbro and takes it out without a problem. Only one left to go. Bum sends out his last Pokemon Marowak, and with one final Flamethrower, Blarg finishes it off with a crit, and with that, we have successfully beaten Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee using only shiny Pokemon. Final squad. The amount of good luck I had to have for that to happen. My whole team was under-leveled by the end of it. After the battle, all my guys were still at least a level under all of the champion, or all of my rivals guys. That is crazy that I won that. I owe it all to really everybody except for Venomoth. Venomoth didn't really do anything. Let the credits roll, baby. We've done it. Hey, thank you for watching, and I know I don't normally make Pokemon content on this channel, but it is my favorite series of all time, and if you enjoyed, maybe like, subscribe, leave a comment on which game I should do next, and I'll see you in the next one.